everyone, welcome back to Otoshi Monologues, my excuse to talk, rant, and embarrass myself in front of all of y'all. Today is my first full day in Seoul, featuring a special guest as I go to Tteokbokki Town, visit the Gyeongbokgung and Changdeokgung palaces, walk through Bukchon Hanok village, and tackle a dynamic maze. So let's get started. We start off our day in the rain with my trusty old Pixar umbrella and head over to Tteokbokki Town, which is a 15-minute walk away from me, so I got exercise, saw the Korean streets, and didn't run the risk of getting lost on public transportation. Introducing Ashley. Amazingly kind and talented human being, aka my saving grace while I'm in Korea. We've been on multiple dance teams together through the years, and she happened to be studying abroad at Yonsei, and since her semester hasn't ended yet, she agreed to hang out with me, saving me from both the language barrier and my solo traveling anxiety. If this were a TV show, she would be the too cool secondary main character who always does everything correctly and only agrees to travel with the main character because he begs her for help all the time. If you see this, Ashley, thank you again for all your help during this trip. You made it a lot less stressful and a lot more fun. Alright, Sindangdong Tteokbokki Town time. Tteokbokki is a Korean spicy stir-fried rice cake that's a common street food. But in Tteokbokki Town, it's just a line of restaurants specializing in tteokbokki. From an economic standpoint, I don't know if it's advantageous to have all your competitors right next to you. But I guess if you're a tourist like me and can't tell the difference from one store to the next, they probably all get a decent amount of customers. But we decided to go into this place, and by we, I mean I made Ashley decide. This gigantic thing is the portion size for 2 people, and it only costs 22,000 won, so less than $11 per person. There's a fire on the bottom that cooks your food, and in addition to our tteokbokki ramen stew in the center, it also comes with rice balls, cheese, and marinated chicken feet. Starting with the tteokbokki, the texture is pretty similar to mochi, great chew and just absorbs whatever flavors it was cooked in, which in this case is a savory spicy sauce. If you've ever had sauces made with gochujang, the Korean red pepper paste, it tastes like that. As a note/disclaimer, most of the things I ate in Korea had some spice in it that was pretty spicy for me. I don't have the best spice tolerance, but everything for the most part was still in the enjoyable range, but I did have to pace my eating, otherwise my mouth would explode. And the spice is amplified when the dish comes to your table and is always on top of a fire. So most of my descriptors of the food here are probably going to include it was really spicy, but also note that I'm a little bit of a wimp. Chicken feet time. I've only had chicken feet a couple of times in my life and I don't remember it ever being that good, but this one hit different. Whatever sauce was on it was a nice sweet and spicy, and it was so tender and nice and temperature hot. The mozzarella cheese was surprisingly good too. You may be thinking it's just cheese, but because it heats up on that plate, it gets all gooey like fondue. And if you let it cook even more, you end up with this lovely, crazy brown cheese chip thing. And those rice balls, the nori gets all toasted, and then there's sesame oil in there too, so it makes it so scrumptious. 10 out of 10 meal. Now, off for some authentic Korean culture. Gyeongbokgung and other surrounding palaces, here I come. Did somebody say Gyeongbokgung Palace? Did you know that the Gyeongbokgung Palace was the main royal palace of the Joseon dynasty? And was built in 1395 by King Taejo? Gyeongbokgung, which means palace greatly blessed by the heavens, was built in the heart of Seoul, surrounded by Mount Bukchon and Mount Namsan. Plus, it's closed on Tuesdays. What he said. Anywho, it's this big old gate looking thing with more gates as you get farther in. To get to the innermost part, you have to pay, so we decided to just go check out some other historical places instead. On our way out, we did get to see the changing of the guards. Can you imagine that being your job? I mean, I understand the whole country pride and all that jazz, but to have people staring and taking pictures of you all day and you can't move, plus it's cold and raining today, and as soon as one shift ends, another one begins. Sounds more like torture to me. Then we headed for Bukchon Hanok village. a 14th century village lined with restored traditional homes, which people still live in. Like, I'm pretty sure I just took a picture in front of some person's house, but it's a historical home, so can you blame me? It's just like walking through a neighborhood, it's just that this neighborhood is a lot more aesthetically pleasing than most. And they have this random well, Bukchon well. Wow, it was supplied only to royal palaces. I gotta get in on some of that. So I ventured into the well. Well, not into it because it just goes down, but I got as close as I could and can confirm there's water in there. And then we went to Sindangdong Palace, where we did buy a ticket to get in because I feel like everybody goes to Gyeongbokgung, the northern palace, but where's the love for the eastern palace, you know? And I gotta beware of wild animals? Even better. Will I see my first Korean wildlife today? Spoiler alert, I don't. Yet. Gotta say, it looks pretty similar to the first one, but there's a lot less people. And if you know anything about me, I hate being around lots of other people. It was fantastic. Ashley was telling me that they used to hold ceremonies and meetings at this place, and these stones were used to group soldiers of different ranks. And the closer you were to the front, the more important / skilled you were. But no matter what rank you were, from the bottom of those stairs, you wouldn't be able to see any of this. Then it was off for a snack break, which led us down these cute alleyways lined with cafe and dessert options, leading us to this egg tart place called Otar that has a variety of pastries, but we just got their various egg tarts. Original, cheese, raspberry, and durian. All pretty good. Above average egg tarts, nice and flaky. All the flavors were strong enough so you could tell which was which. The original one was still a little warm when I ate it, so it was extra decadent tasting. Okay.
So my ranking is durian is number 1.
Yeah.
The regular is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Raspberry third.
Yeah.
And then cheese tart last.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, but yeah. And now, before we go to our dynamic maze, here's a word from our sponsors. Not really sponsors. All you boozers out there, let your jewelry make a statement with soju earrings. Why wait for people to ask you if you like soju when you could just flash these bad boys and save yourself the trouble? Get to drinking faster with soju earrings. Also available in keychains. You've heard about cup noodles, but what about corn in cup? Do you like corn but think eating it from the cob is too barbaric and messy? Then try corn in cup, available at select Seoul street corners. So, a dynamic maze is an interactive maze experience where you solve puzzles and perform tasks to unlock passage into the next room. Sort of like a Survivor or Big Brother challenge, but with absolutely zero stakes. Our first challenge was jumping into this mouth, which was surprisingly steep, and not losing these coins they gave us. So, team slogan time.
We all wake up, we all need sleepless. Oh my god.
And we're ready to take down this maze. And the next room actually is a maze, but it's a multi-leveled maze, so you're crawling up and down and left and right. Surprisingly exhausting, but we made it. Next up, a memory game, which we horribly failed at the first time, but it was 2 times the number of cards in the same amount of time. But second time's the charm, let's go. And into another maze. This one's got mirrors. And we were stuck in here for a pretty long time. That exit sign did not help. Kept going in circles, I don't really know how. But onto this throwing room, where balls are spit out and then you have to throw them into the holes. Couldn't film that one as my hands were occupied throwing those balls. Then another memory game pushing ordered lights, and then a decision. Easy or hard? I ain't no wimp. Regret, I'm falling. Power through. Dang, I'm winded. Right after going up, they just had us slide right back down into this musical challenge, where I was completely useless. Not only can I not read anything, but I don't know my musical notes either. Holy bejeebus, it's so many notes. Ashley, this is all you. It's okay, I wouldn't have made it past the first note. On to the ball pit, where we stopped for a photo op because why not? Wow, cool, oh yeah. Then through this janky elastic, onto a rope bridge, and then a magnetic maze where you gotta lead the ball from the bottom up to the spot at the top without having the ball fall back down. They expected you to get 3 balls in 45 seconds. I could barely get 2, but there was no lock blocking us from the next room. So on we go, into the maze of
silence.
How dramatic, man. We were definitely not silent. The rope hurt, so we ended up scooting on our backs.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna lose a button.
Oh boy, you lost something more important than that button. During that caterpillaring through the tunnels, I lost the coin that they told us not to lose.
Oops.
I saw it on the floor below the rope net. I was so sad. I also saw a lot of other coins down there, so at least I'm not the only clumsy person that's been here. Because I lost the coin, we couldn't put it in this arcade looking machine where you play your last minigame, but then you just push your way through these bumpers, and then you have survived the dynamic maze. Really great experience, 10 out of 10, but I urge you to go with someone who understands Korean because all the verbal instructions are in Korean only. But if you want the extra challenge, you know, don't even listen to the game instructions. Conquer that maze on gut instinct, you overachiever. Then we stumbled upon this K-pop store where you know what's coming. Twice! 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 I am finally in the motherland of Twice. And look, it's from Jiho. Man, this day just keeps getting better. Especially because it's food time. KBBQ! Don't worry, I won't rap this time. Everything is prepped and ready to go for that meat. Ooh, listen to that sizzle and watch that fat drip away. Oh, look at that pork belly. And it comes with a bean sprout soup. Yes, please. Too hungry for footage. But it was really good. Like any other quality KBBQ place. It was slightly pricier than other meals for a little less food. But the addition of that soup really balanced out the meal for me. I was satisfied. 9 out of 10. And since we didn't stuff ourselves at dinner, we still had room for some Bingsoo, aka Korean shaved milk from Seoul Bing. Look at that injolmi, aka kinako, aka roasted soybean flour, Bingsoo, with vanilla ice cream, mochi, and the chewiest macarons that I've ever had. Good lord, it was so good. Not sickeningly sweet, super milky with the amazing textural contrast from both the mochi and the macarons. Easily 10 out of 10. But that's more a reflection on I like Bingsoo. Not sure if Seoul Bing is considered a top tier Bingsoo place or not. And then I headed back to the Coco residence, drank an authentic Korean banana milk in the original fun-shaped packaging, and went to sleep 100% satisfied with my day. And that brings me to an end of this Otoshi monologue. Thank you for joining me as I went to Tteokbokki Town, some palaces, and the dynamic maze. If you're just here to see Ashley, which is very understandable, come back soon because she too will be back. And I'll talk to y'all next time with a hike, some optical illusions, and some busking. 안녕히 계세요. Did it so I but so it's about to SCP KBB